Hey everyone, this is Thomas with Bentwood Ring Supplies, and we are back with another video showing you how we made our latest subscription box ring, Highlander. Today's ring is special. What we're using for this build is finely crushed malachite and a very custom ring blank that we made right here at Bentwood Ring Supplies. How we made it is pretty special too. I'll go over the finer details in a separate video, but what we've done is create an application that you can use to design your own ring blanks. That's right, we built an inlay ring designer that essentially removes the barrier to custom inlay rings altogether. I'll put the link to a video showing that off later down below, so let's go ahead and get to the main course here. You can probably already tell, but this design has some pretty tiny segments to fill with our malachite, so I'm going to use a very fine crush combined with powder. I wouldn't use anything larger than this though. The first item I'll be tackling is one of the 4 dots around the ring. I'll use my inlay tabber to distribute a bit of the material into the space, and then use my inlay adjuster stick to move it around, and even remove some of the material to ensure that it won't poke out of the top of the space. I'll tap the band or the mandrel to settle the material, then give it a small dose of thin CA glue. Using a paper towel, I'm removing the excess CA glue and then using the inlay adjuster again to make sure everything is settled in and not protruding above the ring. Now it's time to move into the Celtic knot. This part can get a little touchy, so take your time and try not to use too much malachite. These spaces are so small that it's not very feasible to try and inlay them individually, so I'm going to do all 4 at once. I'm dropping the smallest material I can manage over the top, and then using my finger to pack it into the inlay space, and once there's enough material in them, I'm using my inlay adjuster stick again to just move the malachite powder around, and using the tip of it to scrape some material out of the top so that it's slightly recessed. I'll tap the ring or the mandrel to settle the material and adjust it all until I'm satisfied that everything is where it needs to be, and again, not protruding outside of the inlay space. I'll apply a gentle application of CA glue and let it soak into each area that we've inlaid with the malachite. And then again, use our inlay stick to make fine adjustments. You'll get the hang of this pretty quickly. Our priorities are no gaps in the inlay, and there has to be a space above the inlay material for our finish to exist unbroken. Repeat this around the rest of the ring, and then we'll move on to the next part. You will definitely want to go around and review that you haven't got any pieces of the malachite poking out of the inlay area, and in the event that you do, most of the time you can break it away with a pointed tool. Just be very careful not to scratch the outside of the band. Now that our inlay is perfect and fully seated below the surface of the ring, we get to apply small amounts of thin CA until the extra space above the material is filled and slightly domed over the ring. I'm using our slow speed ring turner for this finish application, but for a ring like this, it's not required. You're entirely able to fill one inlay space at a time and cure it with a gentle spritz of activator at your own pace. In my case, I'm just adding a drop or 3 and using my inlay adjuster stick to make sure there's no random bubbles and that the CA has gone in every area it needs to go. Remove any excess with a paper towel and keep an eye on it because it's a fire hazard if the CA goes off and gets too hot on that paper towel. Continuing, use a bit of CA activator to cure the CA you've placed on the ring, and then I will continue in this fashion until there's more CA than there is places to put it. Welcome back to the wood lathe. I've mounted our soon-to-be gorgeous band on this silicone ring mandrel, and I've fully prepared myself to pay a bit more attention than usual. What I mean by that is this. Typically we work with channel rings and the like, which typically have a higher ratio of finish surface to ring surface. What this entails? Glad you asked. It means that there's more metal to polish on rings like this, which also means that there's more area to show off how well we polished the ring, or how well we didn't. So here we go. I'm not going to speed this up significantly, and I'm taking my time seeking a very polished end result. In this particular case, I'm starting with 240 grit sandpaper to remove our excess CA from the ring, and I'm carrying on into the band with it so that I know exactly what level of surface I'm working with. Using our sanding stick is very important here so that we have consistent material removal across the band, and I'm keeping it moving and I'm keeping it wet. I'm also making sure to clean the band often, even while I'm still working with the same grit of sandpaper. I move to 320 grit sandpaper next, and I'm going to show you something interesting here. It's an uncommon style of finish these days, but I think it actually works really well for this ring design. After sanding a bit with the 320 grit, I'm rotating to manually sanding the outside of the band in a circular motion and giving it a rough, brushed finish. The purpose of this, if you're not as aggressive as I am, is that cross-sanding is a great way to remove these pesky sanding marks that just don't seem to go away when you're only working your piece from one direction. If you are like me, you've got some work ahead of you to get those marks the rest of the way out. That said, this brushed finish is actually looking really nice, and it might just be the catalyst I need to start experimenting with finishes that aren't just as polished as I can get them. Now, I'm going to continue using 320 grit to try and remove some of the heavy-handed marks before we move to 400 grit, and then into Zona paper. I'm trying to remind myself that I don't need to be aggressive with sandpaper. Just let it do the work, keep it wet, keep it moving, and keep it clean. But when I get to Zona paper, I'm really not getting the results I expected. So, in direct contradiction to what I just said, I got pretty aggressive with the Zona paper. I was applying way more pressure than normal, and I have to say it actually worked fairly well. I went back for a moment with the 400 grit sandpaper just to make sure I had a relatively clear surface to work with, but this ring didn't really respond until I got serious with the green Zona paper. Continued in that fashion with the rest of the Zona stages, and while I'm not positive why this one decided to be such a pain, I was eventually able to achieve the result I was always looking for. After using the Zona paper, I took it a few steps further with our last 3 grades of diamond polishing paste, and I'm very happy with the end result. Next, we are going to be using our Ringmaker finger savers to address the inside of the band, and this is for a very specific reason. This band was laser engraved, deeply. This is how we get our custom inlay rings here at Bentwood Ring Supplies to look as awesome as they do, but this is a very aggressive removal of material, and sometimes the inside of the ring will discolor slightly. I'm using the last few grades of Zona paper to remove that discoloration without impacting the factory finish on the inside too much. You can see here that it's very easy to mount the ring into the tool, and even though it's a little wobbly, which isn't uncommon, the tool itself performs perfectly once you apply pressure from the inside of the ring. I'll also use the finger saver to quickly polish the edges of the band. It's especially handy if you have scratches on the edges of the band and you want to remove them before polishing to a high shine elsewhere. Alright, that's it, and now we're finished with this magnificent, currently one-of-a-kind ring. It's gorgeous. Lastly, thank you for watching. If you're interested in making rings yourself, please subscribe to our channel and join us at bentwoodringsupplies.com. Thanks so much for your support. I'll see you in the next one.